Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Raina Moe's Designs. And today is MoeVember 17th. And I'm coming from the bathroom because I wanted to give you an update on my skin and how it's doing, and just kind of show you guys how I got this kind of a beachy wave thing going on. Now, I'm here in Texas, and right now it's cold, so the humidity is not horrible. But last night my back was giving me such problems that I did not curl my hair. But I'll show you guys in the morning how it looks whenever I curl my hair. And I do heatless curls. And for those of you that are young, that's what y'all call them now, whenever you can create a curl without using any kind of heating element that could damage your hair. But for us old hats, old school pin curls. That's what I actually do with my hair. So anyway, as you can see, my skin has cleared up. I'm continuing to use my Chanel products, and I have not had to use this Decenide cream. I only had to use this once. I haven't had to pull it out and use it again. I just keep it right here on my vanity for when I need it. But the Chanel serum and the Chanel moisturizer, they have just really been doing my skin very, very well. Very, very well. I also wanted to share, because I don't remember if I shared this with y'all before, but I have been using this as a cleanser. It's the Revitalift Derm Intensive 3.5 Pure Glycolic Acid Cleansing Gel. And I've been using that because it's supposed to resurface for smoother, brighter skin, and it's a prep for serum. So because it said it was a prep for serum and brighter skin, I picked this up at Walgreens. And if I can remember, I will link it. But you guys can pick this up at Walgreens. I'm pretty sure CVS probably has it too. But anyway, so I'll cleanse with that. I'll tone with my rose water, Trader Joe's spray, use my serum, use my moisturizer, and where is it? Right here. This little sample here, the dermatologist gave me this. This is a sunscreen. So if I'm leaving work at 5:30 in the morning when it's still dark, I don't use this. But if I'm leaving at about 6:15 in the morning, then I do use this, because while I'm driving into Houston, the sun comes up. So I've only gotten to use that like twice so far. But anyway, so far so good is what I can say as far as my skin regimen. But anyway, whenever I want to do my hair in curls, I just make small sections. Now, I did find on Amazon some satin foam rollers, but they came in all squished. So right now I've just got them in a little bowl so that they can hopefully unsquish by tomorrow evening, so I can use them. But if they don't, they're going right back to Amazon. Yeah, and it was a pack of 60, so that won't be linked until I know for sure that it will unsquish. So basically when they sent them, they had it what do they call it? Vacuum sealed. It's a pack of 60, so it's 6 packages of 10 satin foam rollers that they packaged, and then they vacuum sealed, so it just crushed them, you know. So like I said, they're sponge rollers, so it should, you know, reinflate, but just in case it doesn't, they will go back to Amazon. So what I do is I take 2 fingers, and side note, these little crystals on my fingernails are really, really pretty, but they're not very functional for this. So be very careful. That's why I'm doing it kind of loose. But I just wrap it around my fingers like this. I hold the tippy tip end, if you can see that, as I'm wrapping. I'm using my thumb to hold it. And then I slowly wiggle one finger, then the other through while I'm holding that tippy end. And then I'm just curling it on top of itself until I get the placement that I want. And then I take the old school bobby pin and open it up and place it, and make sure that it goes through the center, just like that. Now, you couldn't put just one on there, but like I said, I'm old school. I use 2, and I make the X pattern because that makes me feel that it's very secure and that it's not gonna come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing my whole head. And I just basically have pin curls going all the way around the perimeter. I'm not gonna have any up high. They're all gonna be low, because that's just the way that I do it. And some of them will be bigger than the others, and that's okay. That's totally okay. So how was y'all's day? I would love to hear in the comments how your day went. If you're a stay-at-home mom with kiddos, how was your day? If you work in a 9 to 5 like me, how did that work day go? Because I know it can be challenging. I'm gonna tell y'all about mine, and I want you to share with me yours, because I honestly wanna know how you guys are doing. You know, like I said before, we have a community, right? And the community does not just revolve around me and DIYs and hauls and all of that stuff. Our community revolves around each other and the things that we love to do, right? And part of that should be communicating with each other, connecting with each other. So tell me, how you doing? I want to know the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to share. So on this side, I kind of like my curl to go out and in. So because of that, I'm going to make sure that I place my fingers here, and I'm gonna roll it this way. It's backwards. Now, if you want yours to go in a different direction, then you can do it forward, because that's easily less awkward than how I just did it, but that's just kind of how I like my curl. And then I just flip it, right? And that's how I get that little bump. And yeah, I know it's really weird. It takes a while to learn how to do that, unless you're, I think if you're left-handed, it'll come a little bit easier for you. But if you're right-handed, then it'll take you a couple of tries to do it that way. And like I said, I know it looks really weird, but it works. It works for the way that I want it. And see, it's not as pretty as the other side, because I just snagged it with these gemstones. I tell you, they look so pretty, but they're not really practical. But they are really pretty. And this one, I'm just doing it backwards and then rolling it up. And then I'm gonna do my twist and curl it this way and pin it. So it just keeps that little bump shape towards the front, and then the curl just falls the way that I want it to. And that's it. So I'm gonna finish it all the way around. So let me tell you a little bit about my day. As you guys know, I'm a nurse, and at the hospital that I work at, I'm a case manager. And the system that I work for is wonderful, because in case management, when you're the RN, you are used to taking care of the medical issues, right? Because you come from the floor 9 times out of 10, you know exactly how it goes. You know how a disease process is. From working the floor so long, you kind of know and can anticipate doctors' orders for a specific disease process. So you know, if you're dealing with a diabetic person, you're going to be checking their blood sugars. If that diabetic person happened to get into a crisis, which we call DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, and no, it's of no relation to the keto diet. That's something totally different. Yes, it's a form of ketosis, but it's not a good form of ketosis, right? So that's with people who have their blood sugars anywhere over 400, and their body says, I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. And the body can shut down, and you will die from that if you don't get medical attention. But anyway, most people end up seeking medical attention because some of the first signs that you could possibly be having ketoacidosis is GI related, you know, a lot of stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, things like that, right? Sometimes it's respiratory, but a lot of times it's GI related, and that's why you end up going to the hospital, right? So as I was saying, being a nurse, working the floor, you know, if you have a patient that is in DKA, they're gonna end up in ICU. They're gonna end up on an insulin drip, right? Well, once the blood sugars are under control, the ketoacidosis will resolve along with all of the other fluids and such that the doctors are giving them, different medications and such, right? So then the patient's natural progression is to transition to a med-surg floor before they're discharged, right? So where I work is a med-surg floor. It's just kind of a real generalist floor. So you could see a lot of different things there, right? You can see patients with infections there. You can see patients with surgical complications after they're almost better to go home. Different things like that. So being a case manager, being a nurse at that, you kind of already know what the progression is supposed to be for a patient. So if they're going to end up needing IV antibiotics at home, or they're going to need some durable medical equipment, or, you know, they're going to need some home health, or they need to go to a rehab or a skilled nursing facility, we set all those things up. And so because we know those disease processes and how a person's supposed to transition, when we're working with the physical therapist, because that's part of our team, right? The doctors, they're part of our teams, and we're talking to each other about our patients, we kind of know which direction to go. So your day might start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and it should end within 8 hours, but that's not always the case. So I just shared all of that with you guys to basically let you know that today was a long day for me. I was having some back issues and it's still kind of tweaked, but I ended up going in late today, and so I stayed late. But besides staying late, something popped off and I was the only RN case manager in the building, so I had to take care of it, right? So that's what I did, which caused me to be even later than normal. And now that it gets dark at like 5:30, it's just not a good feeling driving home in the darkness. And that's just how I feel. But let me know in the comments below how you feel when it comes to coming home from work with this time change. And if you like having to come home from work and it's dark outside. Now, I remember when I used to get off at 6 o'clock when I was working at the insurance company. And yes, insurance companies do hire nurses because we're the ones that do the utilization review. And for those of you that don't know what utilization review is, we are the ones at your insurance company that looks at the plan that you have. And we, along with the medical director, which is the doctor that is there because they're the head boss, we look at the plan, we make sure that you have the benefits. So let's say that you're in the hospital getting better, they want to send you to a skilled nursing facility for some rehab because you've gotten a little bit weak. Well, if you happen to have that benefit and you participate every day while you're in the hospital with their physical therapists and occupational therapists, and they're showing that you are having some improvement, but you still need therapy services, then that's something that we can approve. But if we get clinical from them saying patient refused physical therapy today, stating they just got back from dialysis and they're too tired, or patient refused therapy services today with complaint of nausea and vomiting, and then the next day patient refused because of this, and then the next day the patient refused for some other answer that's flimsy. Because think about it, guys, when you're in the hospital, it's not a vacation. And a lot of patients think that the nurses and everybody are just to be there for their beck and call and wait on them hand and foot. And that's not the case. Our job is to help you get better, to fix whatever is going on if it's fixable. But you got to work with us. You got to work with the doctors. You got to work with the CNAs. You got to work with the nurses. You have to work with us. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but it's typically from younger people, like people in their 40s. I'm seeing a lot of it where they want the CNAs to come feed them. They don't want to get up and go to the bathroom. They would rather use a diaper when they can walk. You know, they'd rather use a urinal instead of getting up and going to the bathroom. Now, there are people who we will put a bedside commode in because, you know, when you get in the hospital and you stay in the bed, every day you stay in the bed, you lose a lot of your muscle strength. You do. You get weaker in the hospital if you stay in that bed and you don't get up and get to the chair. You know, sitting up in the hospital is one of the best things you could do for yourself. So if you get out of the bed, you won't have those problems. But let's say you've been in the hospital for 2 weeks and you are just now getting back to where you feel well enough to get up out of the bed. Well, yeah, then we'll bring a bedside commode in there so that you can have your dignity and you can actually go to the potty chair, right? But we have patients that can walk and do for themselves, and they would rather use a urinal. They would rather use a bedpan. You know, and unless the doctor has written for you to be non-weight bearing and you're a person that can walk and do for yourself, you need to walk and do for yourself as much as possible when you're in the bathroom. When you're in the hospital. Because when you get home, if we do everything for you, how are you going to be able to take care of yourself? Because you're going to have allowed yourself to get so weak. And because you're refusing to do what the therapy tells you to do and tries to help you to do, your insurance company is not going to cover you going to a skilled nursing facility or an inpatient rehab. So these are just some of the things that I wanted to share with you guys and help you to understand just in case you get into the hospital, because, you know, not every day is guaranteed to us, right? I know you guys have heard that before. Excuse me. And I know you guys seeing it because I'm not going to edit it out. You're going to say, Rainamo, what are you doing? That's my sneezes. I don't spray my sneezes out. I never did do that, even as a child. And I know that that's not the best thing, because the sneeze is an involuntary action to get out whatever it is that's irritating you or irritating your lungs. But I've never been one to spray. And because I'm so heavy busted and heavy armed now, doing this and letting it go into my arm, it's gonna escape up here and up here. Only a portion of it will be caught. So I rather keep it to myself, especially with COVID, but I've always done that. So anyway, I know I got off track, but what I wanted to share with you guys is, this is my night routine for my hair. You guys, I think you've seen my night routine for our skin, because it's the same as my day routine, because now I do my skincare in the morning and at night. But the only difference is, instead of using a cleanser in the morning, once I've cleansed my face, I will use these micellar water cleansing wipes. And you see, Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. I truly love Trader Joe's. So I'll use these in the morning and then go in and put my moisture in, because your skin at night, it respirates and repairs itself, provided you've given it what it needs so that it can repair itself. So in the morning, you want to wash all that off your face. But if I'm using a cleanser at night, I don't want to go in with a cleanser and strip what I put in overnight. So that's the reason why I use the micellar cleansing wipes. And I just wipe my face real good, and then I go in with my moisturizer, serum, and everything, sunscreen if I actually needed to. But I hope you guys have enjoyed and found some interest in the things that I've said. I know that looks a little bit crazy, but it'll turn out fine in the morning. And I just sleep in a satin bonnet, and I'm pretty sure most of you ladies do that too, because it's the best for our hair. I also have satin pillowcases because they're dirt cheap, and I got those from Amazon. So if I remember, I'll try to link those down below, but I might not. You know, I do still suffer with brain fogginess, so a lot of times when I'm doing my editing for the videos, I'll go back and look, and I'll see something on there, or I'll hear myself say I'll link it down below, and that's how I end up remembering. But sometimes I don't. So forgive me if it's something you're interested in and I don't link it in any of my videos, you know, because the links are there for you guys to help you, and by me helping you with the links, whenever you use the links, you're helping our channel here. But it's not something that you have to do. And maybe that's the reason why I tend to forget. But you guys know how to Google, and y'all know how to look on Amazon. But I'm gonna always try and be as helpful and accommodating as I can for you. And on that note, I'm gonna drink some more water. I'm gonna brush my teeth, take my shower, and then I'm going to bed. And I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful evening. Bye.
So as you can see, I've taken my rollers out. I haven't combed my curls, but once I do, I usually finger comb my curls out, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. And so here is my final look for the day. And I just love it. You know, it's not hard to sleep in curls as it is. I tried those Velcro rollers. It was absolutely horrible. I will use my satin ones if they fluffed back up, but if they didn't fluff up, then they'll go back to Amazon. And I wouldn't recommend that you get them, because that's not what you want to do. But anyway, yeah, that's my look of the day. And I'm just wearing a simple, one of my favorite blue dresses. Okay? Have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye.